are here to tell you guys a little bit about our second leg of our journey. We made it from Kentucky to Michigan, Elizabethtown, Kentucky, to be specific.
To Montague, Michigan.
We are at our third Harvest Host stop. We are in Columbus, Indiana, just north of Indianapolis, and we are at Simmons Winery and 450 Brewery, and it's been a really nice, quiet spot for us. We had a whole parking lot to ourselves. They have it dedicated for Harvest Host. It's for their event pavilion behind us, and then the restaurant and bar is through that little path over there, and they have a really pretty garden, and we're surrounded by cornfields, and it's very pretty, and it was a great night. Brad's over there checking the PSI in our tires. We try to do that like every other stop just to be sure that we are running on a good PSI so we don't pop a tire on our trip. All right, well, we are headed to another Harvest Host, so we're excited to show you guys that place too. I got you, I got you, I got you, I got you, I got you. Boo! I scare you every time. Where are you? Boo! I got you. From there, we woke up and we left first thing. We tried to leave as quickly as we possibly could, and we went from Columbus to Grissom Air Force base, but it was the Air Force Museum across the street from the Air Force base.
That was in the Peru, Indiana area.
Here we are at Grissom Air Museum here in Indiana, and this was our Harvest Host for the night, and it was awesome because we were parked right behind this plane. You can see our camper back there, and it's right across from the Grissom Air Force base. And it was really quiet too. We were here on a Sunday. Some people left reviews that there were a lot of planes that flew overhead, which was cool, which would have been cool, but we didn't have any flying overhead. I think maybe one. But the museum was really neat. I highly recommend it if you're in the area. Evelyn got to go into a helicopter and an airplane, and it has a lot of planes out here in this open field museum here. So that was really cool. So we're about to pack up and head to Muskegon. And we've got an angry baby this morning. All right, bye guys. So then we left Peru, Indiana, and we came up to here, Montague, Michigan, where we are right now. We're at Lucky Lake Campground in Montague, Michigan. It's just a little north of Muskegon, and it's really super quiet. I think there are like maybe 2 or 3 other RVs in the park.
It's a huge campground.
It's a huge campground. Like we have one neighbor, maybe like, I don't even know, a football
60 yards down.
Yeah, 60 yards down, but he's
super quiet, no one's around. But beware, because there's a festival called Lake on Fire, which I think is a version of Burning Man that they have, and it's coming this weekend. So just be careful, because we have heard from some locals down the street that it does get pretty crazy at Lucky Lake Campground. Like
60,000 people come to the area for this, but we were aware of it before we came. They posted it on their website and they talked about it, so we knew that they're starting that Friday afternoon. We're leaving Friday morning to go up to Traverse City, so I wasn't really worried about it, and they assured us that it would be quiet, and it's really nice because the lake's right behind us. It's an awesome lake. Brad got to go like on his like any break that he got from work or something, he would hop over for like 2 minutes and he caught a fish.
Yeah, the fishing's really good. It's all catch and release, but you pretty much look at the fish you want to catch and then go catch it.
And Evelyn had fun. Oh, and there were tadpoles, so that was really cool. That was another thing that she got to learn. Brad could scoop a tadpole up and she could look at it and she touched them, and it was great for her to get to see that. And we've seen a ton of deer while we've been here.
Yep.
And asparagus.
They love asparagus here.
Michigan people, Michiganders, I don't know what they're called, but they love asparagus. But it grows great here because they have sandy soil. So when I grew up in Wisconsin, we used to pick ditch asparagus. It grew on the ditch, in the ditches right before Mother's Day. You could go out and start picking asparagus. Well, here it grows everywhere, and it's been really neat to drive past fields full of asparagus. There have been some really cool things to see here in this area of Michigan, which without doing this trip, we would have never been able to just like take this time to go and explore this random area of Michigan. So we got to go, first we went to downtown Montague, which is a really cool, tiny little downtown area that had like all of these stone and brick buildings, and we got to go to this really old little ice cream parlor. That's where we got the food, but the ice cream was great there at Lipke's, and
yeah, I think it's an old drugstore. So it's a little confusing because if you look on Yelp, it's like Lipke's or Lipka's drugstore, but it has really good ratings for food. And it does. I had a ham and cheese sandwich. It was really simple, but it was really good.
Yeah, and the people were so friendly.
The ice cream was great. Yeah.
So we did that. That was awesome. And then we found a really great park. They have awesome parks for kids, like amazing parks. And since their soil is so sandy here, like a lot of their parks are all sand. So that's kind of nice. And then we also went to Silver Lake Dunes. And that was about 20 minutes from where we're staying.
20 minutes, yeah.
And it's 2,000 acres of sand dunes. Sand dunes that are like when you go to Egypt. It was incredible. It was absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah, so we got to hike up on the sand dunes and just walk around with Evelyn and just take pictures and videos. But a really cool thing we got to do was take a dune buggy ride. I guess it technically wasn't a dune buggy, but it was like this big truck, and it
was open top.
We got to drive over the dune.
Evelyn and I made it to the top of this sand dune, and she wants to go back down it already. And I'm totally out of breath from climbing up this steep thing. You can see Brad is all the way off in the distance behind us. Do you see him back there? And Evelyn's having the time of her life because I carried her up to the top of this. If you can see, that is Lake Michigan behind me. And Silver Lake is back on this other side, and it's really awesome. Evelyn had a blast. I thought it was going to be a 40-minute tour, and I thought that she would be pretty sick of it. She's 19 months old, and she absolutely had a blast. Every time he would stop to give us a 2-minute little explanation, she would tell him more, go, and she just wanted him to keep going.
Yeah, so if you are in this area, Montague or a little bit north, go to Silver Lake Sand Dunes. Really cool experience. There's a lot to do. We could have spent a day up there pretty easily.
A couple days.
Yeah.
But I think that the shining star of the whole trip was Lewis Farm.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It was 2 miles away from here.
Yeah, it was 4 minutes from Lucky Lake.
And we went 2 days in a row. I took Evelyn by myself this morning while Brad worked, and we went as a family yesterday afternoon. and you could easily spend the entire day there. And
Yeah.
it's this, I thought it was just going to be like a little kind of dinky petting farm.
Like pet some goats, pet some donkeys, call it a day.
It's beautiful.
All right, so we are here at Lewis Farm, and now we made it up to like the kids' play area, and they just have a lot of stuff to do.
Do you see that awesome boat in the sand area? And then if you go the other way, we were just on these awesome air pillows, which I've never been to before, but they were awesome. It's gorgeous. It's like they have done such an amazing job. They have
everything.
They have everything. They have camels. They have lemurs, wallabies, meerkats. They have
Just rabbits and
donkeys and
like an aviary where you feed the birds. They're all parakeets, but you feed the birds.
And goats, which were so fun. And my favorite were the deer, and they were so gentle. And you can feed all of them. It was like $15 for us to go as a family, a little bit more, and they gave you a cup to feed the animals, and I brought the cup back, and they refilled it for me today because they're so nice. But they also had these big jumping pillows.
Yeah,
those like big
awesome.
ones that you see like in LA, the fancy like people use them, and it's like better than a trampoline. Evelyn had a blast jumping on there, and it was hilarious watching her.
So I think it was $17 for the whole family to go. That included the food to feed the animals, and we could have easily spent the whole day up there. Really cool place, and it actually had really good food too. They had a bakery there, and they made their own like chocolates and desserts and things like that.
Donuts, yeah, it was really great. So we had a great time. That was like my favorite thing.